All righty.
Your hair doesn't look crazy, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I can't sit on a white background because then you won't even see that I have hair.
That's okay.
I have to
It
have
looks
color
great
back.
though. The hair looks great. I love it. I love it. All righty, Sandy. Well, we'll jump right in. Like I said, thank you again for hopping on with me. I greatly appreciate you taking the time. First question for you is, can you take me back to the beginning that led you on this journey with digital marketing and the digital growth community?
Well, that takes me back to when I met my husband. We were both living in two different states, and one of us had to give up our six-figure income to be together. So I was the one, and I moved to his state. And my career that I had for 32 years did not transition well. We knew I would make less money, we just didn't know how much less.
Mhm.
And it was significantly less. So that led me to trying to find something else I could do. Now, I had done my business for 32 years. And I was doing good at it, and I was great at it, and I knew what I was doing. So here I am, 51 at the time, trying to reinvent myself and figure out what I could do. And I'm not college educated because when
Mhm.
I started my business, I was 19 at the time.
Wow.
So I was like, what am I going to do? Where can I make the money that I was making? Because I was about 9 years from retirement of where when I wanted to
Mhm.
retire. So I knew I needed to finish strong. So being a Walmart greeter was not an option. That was not going to help me finish strong. So I found out about digital marketing, and the digital aspect I did not know anything
Mhm.
about. I've always, not been very techy. So I was like, how am I going to do this? But I really felt led to do it. So I started on the journey, and I didn't have a problem with mindset like I don't deserve money or I'm
Mhm.
not worthy of money because I had it. So my issue and the trouble that I did have was being on camera, being in front of people, making videos. And every time I would try to make a video, it was like I would freeze. So that took some time.
Mhm.
But I love this business. I do. And it's unlimited income. And when you learn these high demand digital skills, it opens up a whole new world to you.
Definitely, absolutely. And that's the good thing that I really like about this as well. It's like, even if you don't do anything with it, right? It's like, but even when you're going through it and you're learning all these different skills, it's like, well, you can take those skills into other fields, right? So it's not just limited to this, which I really love about that. So, aside from maybe trying to replace that income stream that you had lost when you'd moved, was there anything else that you were kind of craving at that point, aside from like maybe freedom or impact, maybe even like stability?
Absolutely. So my business before, um, it gave me the financial freedom, but it did not give me time freedom, which meant that I worked a lot because I was a single mom with three kids, and it allowed me to work around their schedule and always be there when they went to school, always be there when they got home, and get them to all the sporting events. But I had to work a lot, and the more I worked, the more I made. So that time freedom was not there
Mhm.
in that aspect. And when I moved, I realized location freedom because that had never been an issue for me before because I had lived in that state for 32 years.
Mhm.
So that I didn't even realize about location freedom. So when I got here, I had been thinking if I had a business that would have transitioned well, that wasn't tied to one location, I could have continued it. So when I was looking and praying for a new way to make money and to finish strong in something I could do, financial freedom was a given. Time freedom was so important, but location freedom. So this checked all the boxes of
Mhm.
what I was looking for because I can do this anywhere. all I need is this and the program and the skill set, and I can be visiting my kids, I can be visiting my friends, I can be traveling, I could do this anywhere. So I absolutely love all of those aspects.
Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%, and I was kind of in that same position as well, because I'm a single dad as well with two kids. And so it's always hard to having to make that choice, right? It's like of work and then the activities that your children are in, or whether it be school activities, things like that, right? And it's always tough because it's like, well, if I don't go to work, then I don't have any money, and then I can't take care of my kids or myself, right? And that's one thing that this kind of opens up to people like that are in that same boat. It's like, well, you don't have to make that choice, It's like you can do. There is a different way than what we're taught, or than that system that we're constantly caught up in. So, who would you say that you're building this for, really?
Definitely for my husband and I for retirement, because when we got married, we were both 50, 51.
Mhm.
So I've raised three kids by myself. He's raised three kids. We are ready to live our lives, but it's also for generations to come because it really does leave an impact. And in fact, I got my daughter into this business. So, and she has a master's degree.
Mhm.
And so she is doing this business too, so she can be at home with her child, which is my grandbaby. But what's funny is when I was looking for a new job, a new way to make money, I really wanted one that helped people because that's what I've done my whole life in all my ministries. I was a
Mhm.
celebrate recovery leader, and I went to the local jails and the prisons and helped the female inmates with their hurts, habits, and hangups. I was a divorce care facilitator. I sat
Mhm.
on the board of a residential treatment home. So all of my ministries were about helping people. And I'm also a Christian life coach and a board certified master mental health coach. So I just have a heart for helping people. But one thing that I've always in my life coaching was people struggled financially, and that was a huge issue. It
Mhm.
caused a lot of marital issues, it caused a lot of stress. Then they couldn't even afford coaching at times. So when I found this business, it just checked so many boxes on being able to help people, to be able to make money, mothers to stay home, grandparents to spend time with their kids, and retirement. Just anybody who is out there struggling financially, this business can help.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. You said it perfectly. So what would you say is different about you now compared to when you had first joined the DG Mastermind?
Okay, well, it's definitely my confidence with the camera and speaking because I had always avoided that in
Mhm.
all of my ministries. I never wanted to get up and talk. Now, I used to joke that I would do it in the jail because I had a captive audience, and they could walk out and leave. So I would get up and give my testimony in front of those ladies. But otherwise, steered away from being on stage or in front of people. I was
Mhm.
much more behind the scenes. So that was really a mind shift for me. That's where I needed to change and to grow and to expand.
Mhm.
And so now I really look at it because I've always been so self conscious on how I come across. But when you're doing this business and you're making a post, it really is not about you. It
Mhm.
really is about who needs to hear what you have to say. And so when you can shift that and realize that you are helping somebody else and they need to hear what you have to say, then it just takes all that focus off of, oh, do I sound funny? Do I look funny? Do I present well?
Yeah, definitely. And it's, how you had mentioned, with having issue, being on camera. I was talking to a musician yesterday. and he is 84 years old, right? He's been playing music since he was like 14 years old. And he's well known, right? He's played around the world, played in front of, packed out stadiums, in front of huge crowds. And he was like, he's talking to me and he's like, the biggest problem I have is being on camera or talking one on one like this or making a video. And it's so funny how that works. It's like he has no issue, right, performing in front of people. But when it comes to something like this, as simple as holding a phone, absolutely freezes, can't do it. And this helped him kind of get over that as well, which is great. So is there anything, and it could be one thing or even multiple things that you're most proud of accomplishing so far?
Just learning the skill set, because for 32 years, I'm an analytical thinker. My business required a lot of numbers, a lot of detail. So
Mhm.
to be creative, like I haven't been using that side of my brain for my whole life. So trying to be creative and in expressing and making a video and what am I going to say and how am I going to say it? I'm really proud of that shift, because when I was just sitting there typing reports and numbers and details and numbers and details, and you just stay like that for so long, and then to try to shift, and especially doing it, at by the time I found this business, I was 55. So, by shifting into that. So, I mean, really, truly, when they say anybody can do it, anybody can do it.
Yes, absolutely. So, and I want to bring it back to this. You had spoke a little bit about a mindset and, how you help people with that. So I'm interested in your point of view from it because, you know so much about it, and helping people with that. Was there a certain mindset that kind of helped you along the way when getting started with something like this?
Um, I I see that a lot of people struggle with, they don't believe it's possible, they don't think they're worthy of it. I just didn't have that because I have always been a hard worker.
Mhm.
And I have always, and I believe with all things, with God, all things are possible. So I just did not have that limitation because I knew as a single mom and, as a single dad, you just do what you got to do. You just make it happen. You just
Yes.
figure out a way, right? You don't have a choice. You don't have a backup plan. You don't have that other spouse to fall back on. You just got to do it and make it happen. So I have always been like that. So with starting this, it was hard. And every time I would see that red light, like you do the 3, 2, 1, and then I would just freeze. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I just was going to make it happen. I was just going to do it. So just that, set your mind to something and don't waver with the obstacles that come in the way or the speed bumps because that's part of life,
Mhm.
right? We all have that. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. It's the way life is. And my dad taught me that when I was really little. He said, it will always be something, and you just have to move past it. So
Yes.
I just grew up with that. But that's what I would encourage anybody else if they are having, like, oh, I can't do this. You can and you will if you just don't give up.
Absolutely. No, great advice. Great advice. So let's fast forward a little bit. Say, right, your business is where you want it to be. You're helping the type of people that you want to help. The money that you want to make is coming in. What does your dream life look like 12 months from now?
The biggest thing for me is the Bible says that the borrower is a slave to the lender. So I I just want to be completely debt free. I
Mhm.
want all my kids to be debt free. I've got a daughter's with a master's degree, and she made it through school debt free. But my son, he's just got his doctorate degree. He did not because he had an accelerated doctorate program for 3 years and he couldn't work. So he's
Mhm.
got debt. So I want to see all my kids debt free. I want to see their just the student loan paid off, their houses, and them moving forward, with their lives. And for me, just knowing that retirement, that I'm not having to worry about if the car tire needs to be replaced, or if, the AC unit breaks. Those are the kind of things that just happen in life, right? That send people into a panic.
Right. Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right when it comes to that things. And I love, when I ask that question because it helps people, I think, to expand their thinking, right? To help them dream a little bigger than they're used to and kind of build out that vision.
And there's
So
so many people, Alex, that need help. Like we
yeah.
support three children all over the world. And I would love to be supporting 300 children all over the world. And there's just people who need help. So it's not just about me, because the more I make, the more I can tithe, the more I can give, the more I can share, and the more difference that I can make. And I
Definitely.
and I've been doing that since I was a single mom. I was at church and they had Mission of Mercy there, and God told me to go pick a child. And I was like, I can't even afford to feed the three I have. How do you
Mhm.
want me to pick another child? And I did. I started that journey back in 1999, and I've been
Wow.
supporting children ever since. And God provided. So the just it's not just about making money for you, it's for your family, it's for other people, it's the ministries, it's the difference that you can make, and teaching people the skill set, like you said, that opens up so many doors for them.
Mhm.
It's incredible what you can learn in this business and where you can branch off into it.
Yes, definitely. No, you hit the nail on the head with that one. So, what do you think it would mean not only to yourself, but your family, your future, even your legacy when you actually pull it off?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, we can only hope that our lives really truly make a difference with the time that we have here. And I just hope and pray that mine will, that I will leave that legacy. I know I have done that already without money, with the help that I have contributed, or, the people that I have met along the way on the journey, and I've met so many people who've made such a difference in my life, showing up at my door with food when my kids and I didn't have enough, and giving us clothes for my kids, when I would be at work and there would be bags of clothes. So many people have made a difference in my life, and I just want to give back, and I have. But having the financial freedom, which I have just not had what is capable in this business, right? I've had where I'm working 80 hours a week and I'm meeting my needs, and I'm supporting a couple kids here and there and helping in ministries, but I've never had the kind of income where there is an abundance
Mhm.
to be able to share and to spread.
Definitely. Yeah. And I just know that, if you just keep going, that it is going to happen, right? Because you have that demeanor about you. And I just know it will happen, right? So it's just exciting to see that whole journey that lead up. And then once it finally happens, right? It's just like, okay. So I'm just excited to see where you end up. That's for sure. So is there something that you've learned about yourself, maybe, and it could be more than one thing or even one big thing that you've learned about yourself since starting this journey?
Just the fact that, it was such a new skill set for me to learn. I mean, just all
Mhm.
of it. I didn't even know how to work a tracker pad on a
Mhm.
laptop because I'd been working on a PC for years. So, just learning all of this stuff, and like TikTok. I didn't have any social media except for Facebook. So I was like, how do I do that? So I set up a TikTok account. I figured out all of that. And it was so funny because when my daughter got started in this business, she called me and said, Mom, how do I set up a TikTok? And here she is, 33 with a master's degree, and I was teaching her how to set up a TikTok.
That's
So just
awesome.
the whole skill set that I've learned, I mean, it really is amazing, because I just truly did not know when I felt led to get into this business, when I saw the post, when I saw what Michelle was offering, I did not truly realize all that was in that pretty little box,
Hmm.
because it is a wealth and a world of information. And what Michelle and Mike are offering us is truly priceless. It really.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I can't say enough good things about either of them. Like I said, I've known them for years, and I've seen the highs and the lows, right? So I've seen it build into what this is now. And in that process, right, it's just two of the most giving people that I've ever come across, right? Always just constantly give, give, give. And I've never, ever heard him ask for anything in return of anyone, right? So it's just strictly about how many people can we help while we're here, right? Which I absolutely love about them. I'm just so happy that they're at the forefront of this thing and you guys get to learn from them because, it just goes to show, that if they can do it, you can do it. And, Michelle was a single mother of, 6 kids and still managed to pull it off. So it can happen. What advice would you give to someone who is maybe in your shoes or maybe even scared to start with something like this?
It's just a journey. It's a step at a time. You don't look at where you need to be. You just start stepping. You just start moving. I always told my kids, if you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. And if you can't crawl, you drag yourself.
Hmm.
Like, you don't give up. So it would be for them, just start. Just a step at a time. Just a step at a time. That's it. Don't worry about all this stuff. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just buy the package. Start where Michelle says, start here, and just start watching a video. And the biggest advice I would have for somebody is, do not wait till you absolutely desperately need this business to do something. Start building something on the side, because the part of my story that I didn't share is, my husband had a six-figure income. I had a six-figure income. I left it to move here. I got here. He got laid off.
Hmm.
He lost his six-figure income. I was devastated because I was self-employed. I never had experienced a layoff. I just never even really thought about that happening, because being self-employed, I'm like, I make it happen, right? I did not depend on someone else to say, hey, we no longer want you. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
I was like, so then he had a layoff, then he got another job, and then they laid off. The first layoff, the company closed during COVID, and 31 people were gone. And then the
Wow.
second layoff, there were 17 people they called into an office, and they sent them all home. They had 10 minutes. So the biggest thing I'm out here telling people, seeing from what my husband and I went through, was, do not wait. Start building this business on the side, on weekends. They talk about 2-hour income working activities
Hmm.
every day. I don't do it every day. I don't want to work every day. I'm 57 now. I'm tired. So you know what I do? I make all my videos in one day,
Hmm.
all of them. I change my shirt. Go to different locations, but all my videos are done in one day. And then I'll watch some training like in bulk. So basically for me, I'm working two days a week.
Yes.
That's what I want to work. I always thought it was ridiculous. We worked 5 and had 2 off. We should work
Mhm.
2 and have 5 off.
I agree. Yes. Yeah.
I do. I work 2 days. I watch all my training videos, and then I make all my videos. And then, maybe I'll watch a training video or get on a webinar or a Zoom or something on the other days. But I want my days to do what I want to do.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I just encourage people, just get started. Don't wait till you desperately need it. Start building this now. Because if I would have had this business when I met my husband, it wouldn't have been traumatic when I moved. It wouldn't have been traumatic when he got laid off. None of that would have been traumatic, because we wouldn't have been in those boats, because this business can go anywhere.
Definitely. No, that's great advice. Absolutely amazing advice. So, last question for you, Sandy. What do you now know is possible?
I've always known with God anything is possible. But with this skill set that we are learning and this training, I see so many different avenues that are opened up in the digital online space and communities and all of that and things you can do. It's also helping me with my life coaching too, because I'm able to, one, I feel more comfortable on the Zoom and I feel more comfortable promoting my business. But I just see that there's just so many ways you can go and so many ways you can help people. Because one thing I didn't really like understand as much in the life coaching, it was always one-on-one sessions.
Mhm.
But now I realize we can do communities. We can be helping thousands of people at one time. And I just didn't, I wasn't even aware of that. And that had nothing to do with the digital skill set that I learned. Really, I did not think had anything to do with life coaching. But you can take this skill set and put it into any area of your life or any business that you're doing or anything that you love and are passionate about and want to do. So everything is possible.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Well, Sandy, that is all the questions I had for you. Thank you again for hopping on. You were great. I can't wait to see your journey progress, and hopefully we can get on another one of these. Once you're doing the thing. Once you've hit all those big goals, and we'll see what's different with you then.
That would be great. And it was a pleasure speaking with you today, Alex.
Definitely. Thank you, Sandy, so much. You have a great day.
You have a blessed day. Bye.